So there hasn't been many Transformer playsets within the past couple of years, and a lot of them didn't really turn into robots. They were always kind of vehicles or alt modes that turned into those playsets. But now we have Optimus Maximus from the Transformers Prime line, so this is going to be a review of this. This box is huge, so I can't even put it in my display here. So here's one, and here's the other display. Let's crack it open and let's check out this toy.
Protoretro.
Now here he is, Mr. Large and in Charge, Optimus Maximus from the Transformers Prime Cyberverse line. Now, this review is going to be a little different than some of my other reviews because this guy is really, really big, and by that I mean he's huge. He barely even fits in my display. To the left of him, well, to the right of him, for the left for us, is Star Saber. And Star Saber is no slouch. That is a very large Autobot leader figure from the Victory line. And Optimus towers over him. So it's going to be a little difficult to review certain things, but I'll try my best. So we'll start with the basic stuff that the figure has. These two cardboard cutouts are suggestions of how the gimmick's going to work. I'm going to take them out afterwards. So first we're going to go with the main figure. Articulation is pretty basic. He has the leg articulation, the arms go up, and that's about it. It's all made of a very soft plastic that's probably designed like that so that kids could throw this thing around. It's a big figure, so it's going to probably take a few tumbles, and they don't want it to be breakable. He has two sounds, like I illustrated before. The first one here, which emanates from the two here, and they're on the side, and then you have the center one. And that one's pretty bright, that one. It even disorients my camera a little bit. The last thing he has also is he has three missiles here that are actually pressure-based, meaning you push behind them and they'll pop out. Again, probably because this is more aimed for children, they didn't go with the spring-loaded, or maybe it would have cost more. This figure isn't actually that expensive, considering his size. Here in Canada, he was only $39.99, where usually a figure that's of this, dare I say, supreme class measurement would sometimes come upwards to $69.99 or more, so that's pretty cool. So let's get to the actual gimmicks too about it. Now I'm going to take out Cardboard Bumblebee here, and then we're going to pop this open and take out Cardboard Optimus, who's just sitting and chilling there. Now, his gimmick harkens heavily to another line from back in the 80s called GoBots. And the GoBots had a figure called Courageous, which became the Power Suits. And the Power Suit gimmick was very similar to this, to the point that I almost wonder if there was some kind of inspiration from Takara or Tommy or Hasbro that came from this, where figures would go into the chest. Here's Turbo from the GoBots, another transforming like robot. Or they would have figures that would go in the side here. So, or even in the feet. Again, very similar in concept. I really wonder that maybe even the engineer was from it, from Plex, which was the company that worked on the GoBot toys and Machine Robo. Who knows? But it's just something to consider. So, we'll start with Optimus. In the center here, we're going to take our Optimus Prime toy and opened up his pieces here just so he could fit in nicely. And you just pretty much just sit him in there comfortably as best you can so that he looks at least half cool, because it's kind of difficult to put it in there nicely and make it look cool at the same time. But more or less, there it is. And he's kind of chilling in there, going, hey, what's up? I'm riding a giant mecha. I'm a robot riding a robot. So yeah, pretty much. Now the thing that they had with the Cardboard Bumblebee, it's actually more just of a suggestion. It's supposed to be that the arms are up, and when the arms are up you could kind of place figures in there and it acts like a platform for turrets or whatever. He has a last one, which is actually the shoulders too. But the shoulders will better be illustrated when I transform it to alt mode, which I think we'll do right now. So here's a good look at the figure. Actually, you know what? I'll show one last gimmick. The leg gimmick. Now the leg gimmicks, they open up like this. The point of that actually is that you put a Cyberverse in vehicle mode, here's a Cliff Jumper, and you feed it in here. And then of course, guess what? Yep, he rolls out. So, that's more or less that. Let's transform this big mamma jamma into robot mode. Now robot mode is fairly simple. These big robot figures actually have very simplistic transformation, and it has a sound gimmick, much like the Autobot Arc from Dark of the Moon had. When you actually lie his legs down to do the first part of the transformation, it makes a grinding and crunching sound. You move the legs down like this, and then you move these arms forward, and you more or less have the battle station mode. Little pieces up here like that. Aim this forward. Now this harkens heavily to another toy of Battle Station Transformers origin. Let's bring him in here. Hey everyone, it's Metroplex, the original Autobot City. Now Metroplex's transformation was opening up his legs. I'm just going to turn his arms the other way, and then sitting him down. Let me just tuck him in there in the back. And he was a very similar. So, two little homage aesthetics there. First of GoBots with the power suits, and then Metroplex's transformation, the original Autobot City. So kind of cool that they kind of made that little extra nod there, if you will. It might not have been intentional, but I mean, it's still pretty cool nonetheless. Gun also goes here in the center. Adds to that final touch. Now, creates platforms here. You could put characters to chill on. Same thing here. But the little extra now in this case is you have these two handlebars at the top. Now, I've tried putting characters that are more of the smaller kind, like Bumblebee, the Cyberverses that are the Commandos, and they're barely able to like look cool doing that. They almost look like a little kid trying to drive a car or something. But they're really more meant for the larger ones. Like here is Ironhide, the Commander, and it just looks a lot nicer on them. They really like it fits them better, because they're larger figures and just looks really nice this way. You know, and so then you throw in everyone else, you put in Optimus there, manning the helm, and then Bumblebee, who is weaponless at the moment over there. Then you got, I don't know, we'll have Cliff Jumper chilling at the bottom there. It's, you know, a nice attempt at a base mode. And considering that, like I said before, Transformers unfortunately have not had a lot of play sets and bases. With Dark of the Moon, they tried to start that with the Cyberverse line, and the unfortunate is it's way too much we see a vehicle turn into the base, or any kind of alt mode or something generic turn into the base. We haven't had something that was a giant robot that becomes the base, which is more akin to what we used to think of when it came to Autobot cities, like Fortress Maximus or Metroplex. Even in the case of like the cases of Scorponok, where it was a scorpion and a base and a robot mode. Triptychon would probably be the only exception, where it's kind of an alt mode that turns into a base. But still, it's nice to see something like this in this day and age. And in all honesty, considering its cheap price point and how much Cyberverses are such an entry-level piece of fun for Transformers, you can't pass it up. So I heavily suggest this. And again, it's cheap, it's a big figure, and I think it's going to be a really hot item, especially around the holiday season. So I heavily suggest picking this up when you see it. So this is Protoman of Protoretro, and this has been a video review of Optimus Maximus of the Transformers Prime Cyberverse line. So until then, guys, roll out.